Hey everybody, Merry Christmas and welcome to my NHL player power rankings for the Montreal Canadiens for my week 8. I started late. For the week ending December 23rd, 2019. So what I do is basically like team power rankings for the league. I take the players on Montreal Canadiens and I rank them every week depending on how they've played. And then when someone gets demoted, promoted, they go off on all that. They move up and down. I tell you how many spots up or down, or if they stayed the same. Give you their stats for last week and say something about them. Basically, that's what I'm doing. So this is, by the way, my first video with my new camera. So hopefully it looks a little better if you've watched any of my videos before, and we'll go from there. So this week, Montreal. Now I'm filming this, I admit, a little late. It's Christmas holidays, but this ends. It ended on the 23rd, and the week before they played in Vancouver, where they had a 3-1 win. They were in Calgary, where they had a 4-3 win in overtime, and they were in Edmonton, where they had a 4-3 loss. So it's going to be based on those 3 games to how they move up and down on this list. Now, starting off, you see, I've got 24, by the way. There's 24 players on the roster. I've got 24. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, KK's on the injured reserve, so he's there. Lucas Vedemo has not played any games. He's on the roster. Charlie Lindgren, backup goalie, is on the roster, no games. Christian Folin on the roster, defenseman, no games, so we're listing them 24, 23, 22, 21. Okay, so we'll just go right into it. So the next guy up didn't play any games either, but it's Victor Mete. Mark him here. He's back from injury. He played against Winnipeg on Monday, played pretty well. And, so I've got him on the roster coming in at number 20, back on this list. But like I said, no games for him. At number 19 and down 3 spots is Brett Kulak. Kulak had no points, a -2, and he had 2 shots for those 3 games. I'm going to find the right place to stand. Sorry, guys. So I took him down 3 spots basically because he played decently in a couple of games and he kind of sucked in a couple others. So he definitely moved down 3. Next up, staying in the same spot, is Riley Barber. Barber had no points. He was even and had 2 shots. That's pretty much what, the reason why I kept him in the same spot was he was even. So he played decently. I have to admit, played decently. Didn't get any points, but I kept him there. He's on the 4th line. But definitely played decently. At number 17, and that's moving up 3, is Mike Riley, who didn't play against Winnipeg because Mete was back. He had no points, +1 and 3 shots. Played decently. And because of the way just everything worked out, that's why he moved up 3. Otherwise, with those numbers, he would have been down near the bottom. I mean, he's near the bottom. But anyways, I'm trying to explain that. Just Mike Riley. What can I say? Surprisingly, moving up number 3. Not number 3, up 3 spots. That's Jordan Wheel. Jordan Wheel had 1 assist for 1 point. He was a +1 and had 3 shots. He played decently, well enough, but had played a lot of power play minutes. I don't understand why. He had a couple of bad penalties in the offensive zone, tripping penalties, just not good. So I struggled putting him up 3, but it's just the way it had to work out. So Jordan Wheel at number 16. At number 15 and moving up 2, and I think he deserved with his play. He didn't get any points. Cale Fleury. No points, +2, 4 shots. Decent physical play. Pinched in a few times, looked good. Just good overall play. Didn't produce any points, but still deserved to move up 2, I think. In number 14th spot and moving up 1. Again, no points, but really good play by Ryan Poehling. And I think to prove it, when Yoel Armia in the Winnipeg game, which isn't included in this, he got hurt, something with his wrist or his hand. And they took Ryan Poehling and put him in his spot. So moved him from the fourth line up to the second line wing. So that shows he's been playing well, and the coach trusts him because he was on some important penalty kills and stuff like that. So Ryan Poehling not getting points right now, but his game is coming around really well. Number 13, down one spot. Down one into number 13. Again, not really because his play was bad, because it definitely wasn't. But he didn't produce any points. He had a +1 and 2 shots, and that's Nate Thompson. Nate Thompson, steady play, as always, fourth line center, and just steady, good play, puck possession. They managed to get into the offensive zone and keep the puck in there a little bit for a fourth line that's pretty good. So Nate Thompson definitely, did he move up? He moved down one, but it's mostly because of the movement up ahead of him. So Nate Thompson in 13th. I got to change the boards. Just hang on a sec. Okay, so in number 12, and moving up, let me get my pen. Gotta have the marker. Number 12, and moving up one, and having a decent week. Oh, it's down here. It's funny because I did a version of this without going, and that's Nick Cousins, by the way, number 12. I did a version of this without checking the stats. I thought, oh, I'll do it off the top of my head. I put it out. I even filmed it, but wasn't happy with it. Honestly, wasn't happy with it. Then I said, okay, let me sit down, write out all the stats, and see. And yeah, there were a couple of differences. So my instincts were right after I filmed it. But Nick Cousins was a guy I had moved down a bit more than just one. I think he moved down one. No, he moved up one, but I had moved him down one. And he actually had 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points, a +2, and 6 shots. Had a really good 3 games overall and didn't deserve to move down. So I'm glad I redid it, and he's in 12th spot, and deservedly so. I like the play of Nick Cousins. I think he's a solid 3rd or 4th liner. Definitely, especially playing with Suzuki. They had some chemistry when they were playing on the 4th line, I thought, and it's transferring into the 3rd line. I just think Jordan Wheel right now is the weak link on that line. If they can give him a better winger on that side, I think that line becomes a scoring line. Although when KK comes back, that's where the dilemma is going to be. I don't know what they're going to do. I cannot see them moving Nick Suzuki off center. Cannot see it. So I don't know what's going to happen then. Okay. Into number 11. Staying in number 11, same as last week, so he stays the same. Had a pretty good week and had a really good game against Winnipeg, which next video of this we'll get into. And that's Arturi Lehkonen. Lehkonen was had 3 assists for 3 points. He was a +3 with 8 shots. He had a really good week, and the beginning of the road trip, the first 4 games, because it was 3 games, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, and then they went to Winnipeg. The Winnipeg game was on Tuesday night when I filmed this, so it's not included in this. But he had a really good week leading up to that game, and he had a good game. I think he had a couple of points, 2 assists, or a goal and an assist. Lehkonen is playing really well right now. Offensively, always plays well on the defensive side. There's so many little things people don't realize. Okay, number 10, and also staying the same at number 10. And this guy was another one of those guys that I had moved down because I actually, off the top of my head, I thought, well, he didn't really play that well, but he did in one particular game, and that was against Edmonton. Even though it was in a loss, he had a goal and 3 assists. A goal and 2 assists for 3 points. He was a -1. That's over the 3 games, and he had 10 shots. So he picked it up. Even in the Winnipeg game, played pretty good. So he's played well in his last 2 games. Didn't deserve to move down because I had him moving down 1 or 2 spots, but stays the same. And he could have moved up a spot, but he can't in this week because of other players. So that's Jeff Petrie in number 10. Number 9, moving down 2 spots into number 9, is the big man on defense right now, Ben Sherratt. So Ben Sherratt moves down 2, but it's not necessarily because of his fault. Other guys around him just played better, and there was no choice. He had 1 assist for 1 point, a +2, and 3 shots, and steady on defense as always. Ben Sherratt has turned into a really, really good acquisition. Took him a month or so to find his game here and learn the system, and he's just playing awesome. Big minutes, like 30 minutes a game. He's leading the team right now in minutes played. So Ben Sherratt in number 9, moving down 2. Number 8, and the biggest drop this week is number 8, down 7 spots, so that means he was first last week. And one of my favorite players, so it's not because I don't like him, is Thomas the Tuna Tatar. Tatar moves down 7. He had 1 goal for 1 point, -2 and 5 shots. So you can see by just stats numbers, and this is a power ranking, so it's basically based on stats and how they're playing, right? They got to be playing well, or you move down. Now, Tatar wasn't playing necessarily badly, but he wasn't producing the numbers, and the other guys that are ahead of him were producing, so that's what happened. So he has the biggest drop at 7 spots in number 8. So in number 7, moving up just 1, and in my first one, I had him moving up. I think I had him moving up 7, but I realized some of the other guys had better weeks. But I love this kid. This is maybe right now my favorite player on the Habs. Even more than Caulfield's not on the Habs yet, but Nick Suzuki moves up 1 into number 7. He had a goal, 1 assist, 2 points, a +1, and 11 shots. He's starting to shoot. The shots are coming up. His overall game is amazing. The guy's got vision. He's got patience of a veteran. He has such anticipation. Such skill. The hands, the softness of the hands. This kid's going to be amazing. This is our number 1 center of the future. Some people don't agree with me on that. They still think it's KK, and it may be because I'm not down on KK in any way. Love that kid, but I think it's going to be Suzuki 1, KK 2. That's how I think. Either way, this kid is a center of ours, top 2 of the future. So, this guy, I can't say enough about Suzuki. But if you watch my videos over the last 5-6 months, I love this kid. Okay, moving up 3 spots into number 6. A guy who was kind of having an up and down season, a little bit slow, but seemed to break out of the slump he was having because he's been in a slump, and that's Max Domi. Max Domi moving up 3 spots from 9th to 6th. He had 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points, a +1, 8 shots. He continued that in Winnipeg, having, I think, a goal and an assist. So he's back on. He's got 8 points in his last 6 games. Just Max Domi. When Max Domi is skating and moving his feet, going over to the offensive line, things happen. He's amazing. Energy, the speed that he plays with, his stick, the way he handles his stick, he's just so talented. And it's good to see him break out of that slump he was in. Let's check the time. Oh, I was doing good till I got to this board. In 5th and moving up 1 is Yoel Armia. Armia had 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points, +1, and 4 shots. He was another guy. I had him move down a little bit, and I checked the stats and realized Armia was just normal Armia, getting his points. A little low on the shots for him, but just great player. Can't say enough. Having a breakout year, turning into a bit of a power forward. Big guy, strong. Love this guy. Hopefully he's not hurt too badly and will be in the next game. Haven't heard anything about Armia yet since the Winnipeg game. Nothing. He hurt his, I think this wrist. I think the wrist or the hand. Okay, in number 4, moving up 1 spot, is Carey Price. Carey Price, ain't he nice? He was 2-1-0 with a .266 goals against and a .903 save percentage. Good numbers, not great numbers, but good numbers. He was solid as could be, made the stops he needed to make, kept them in the games when needed, and just solid. Moved up from 5th to 4th. Number 3, in 3rd spot, staying the same as last week, is the captain of this team, Shea Weber. Shea Weber had 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points, +1, and 4 shots. Stayed the same, decent numbers. Everybody else was scoring in the top 6 or 7, and he deserved to stay the same. In 2nd spot, as well, staying the same. I'm going to put the shortened version of his name. His nickname, Gally. Brendan Gallagher stayed the same in number 2. He had a goal and assist, 2 points, -2, and 16 shots to lead the team. As always, Brendan Gallagher always leads the team in shots. And deserved to stay the same there. Didn't deserve to move up. Didn't deserve to take Weber's spot, so left him right there. Now, moving up 3 spots, and you haven't seen his name yet, and it's because he's here now, is Phil Deneau. Phil Deneau, our number 1 center. starting to prove to be a legitimate number one center. And by that, I mean, look at his scoring. If he had a little bit more scoring, and he's still young, he's only 26, that could come in the next couple of years. If he adds a little bit more scoring, this guy's a legitimate elite number one center. And why do I say that? Look at what we were going to get Matt Duchene. We thought Matt Duchene was an elite number one center. And if he scores a little bit more, Deneau, he's got the same kind of numbers, is a better two-way player, a better face-off man, and a legitimate candidate for the Frank Selke Trophy. So Phil Deneau, playing his usual awesome, had a great game against Winnipeg, scored 2 goals, just an awesome player, deserves to be a number one, moved up 3 spots. And there you have it. There's my list for the power rankings for the Montreal Canadiens for the week of December 23rd, 2019. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. And while you're on the way down there to do that, you can subscribe, ring the notifications bell. That's going to get you all my videos and your daily fix of Bleu, Blanc, Rouge. And from me at Talking Habs. Sorry if I'm stumbling a little bit. It's the new camera throwing me off a little bit. It's a little better because now I have no screen on it. I have to look down at the screen, but I can much more easily look at you guys directly. My eyes usually were off to the side somewhere. It's the hardest thing I've had about filming. Anyway, so check out a couple. No, I got to go on this side. I'm going to put up a couple videos right here. Get it right here. So I hope you'll enjoy that and check it out. And I'll see you next video. I might do a live stream. It depends on when you're watching this. If it's the same day, I'm going to do a live stream. And there's still a podcast to come. It's Christmas Day, and I'm going to do my Christmas Day podcast, first annual of the penalty box. Okay, I went too long. Go Habs, go. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. Bye, y'all.